Really good discussion tonight. I really want to thank our guests, Dr. Sapna Kripalani with Vanderbilt, Assistant Professor of Medicine at Vanderbilt Medical Center. She's joining us, has been joining us via Zoom, and has really taken a lot of good questions. I appreciate everyone who's called in. I want to ask you, Doctor, what do you want to hammer home? What's the bottom line for people? What do you want people to take away from this discussion?
What I want people to remember is that, long COVID is a very real condition. And it's really important that if you feel that you're suffering from prolonged symptoms related to a COVID infection, that you want to be sure to advocate for yourself and talk to your doctors and tell them what's happening. Make sure that if they're not able to help you, that they help guide you to get plugged in with a resource or a physician or a clinic that is comfortable and used to dealing with long-haul COVID patients, because there are a lot of people who are going through this, and there are a lot of treatment options that are available now and going to become available over the next several months.
Well, it is. It's a lot of people. When you said 50%, I was quite surprised it's that high. Up to 50% of people who got COVID have these symptoms. That's quite surprising to me.
It is. I mean, I think newer data that has said anywhere from 18–20%, but many of those studies are actually just looking at one or two particular symptoms. They're ignoring a whole other host of symptoms. So, I can tell you just from people that I am talking to, who, even those who call themselves recovered, many of them are still having, a milder symptom here or there that they're just choosing to work through. So it's quite prevalent. These are huge numbers of people who are dealing with this. And so I think, the audience, I want them to know that they're not alone in this, that there are a lot of great resources. There's online resources like Survivor Corps and other organizations that really bring people together, and you can learn a lot more about the condition. So do your due diligence and look into things, and find the help that you need. Get involved in a support group, because I think there are treatments, but it's still an evolving thing. So it's important for each of us to know what's new and be sure to speak up.
I think we have 2 minutes left. So what is a success story? Can you obviously, without giving names or anything that would identify anyone, give us an example of a success story that you've seen in the time that you've been looking at this?
Yeah, great. We've actually seen a lot of great success stories, and one that actually comes to mind is a gentleman who was in his 40s, who I actually saw about a year ago for the first time, who was very, very severely affected with long COVID, such that he went from a busy entrepreneur to not being able to routinely get out of bed. He had to go through every kind of rehabilitation and saw nearly every specialist, but has been working on physical therapy, has been working with speech therapy, has been seeing specialists who are helping with breathing therapies and things. And over the course of the last 6 or 8 months, he's regained almost 100% speech function, not 100%, but he can speak now and make coherent thoughts, and has been able to go back to work. So has really been able to get his life back on track. Yes, it's still a process. It's a slow process, but I was delighted the last time I saw him to see him doing so much better. And I would call that a success story, even though that story is not over. He's still on the journey. But we're seeing a lot of people make incredible recovery. So I think there's hope. I think that's the bottom line, is that people are recovering from this.
That's what's so important to hear, that there is hope, people are recovering, and that, yeah, I'll take that. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on and answering all of these questions. Obviously, a lot of people have a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, so thank you so much, Doctor.
Absolutely. Thank you for letting me be here and talk about it.
You bet. Okay, we will take a break, and I will come back and wrap everything up right after this.